Michael Smith. 4BC Drive, taking your call.
8 minutes past 5. 114 people going on Australia's behalf in an official capacity to this Copenhagen No Action on Climate Change conference. What will they do? I don't know. The Climate Change Minister, Penny Wong, has said that Australia should contribute to this $100 billion a year fund to help bolster the economies of developing countries. She's saying Australia should tip in money. That's exhibit number 1. So let's get some views about that. Scott Driscoll represents the Retailers Association. Scott, g'day.
G'day, Smithy.
Do you reckon Australia should tip in money for developing countries?
Absolutely not. I think we've gone to new depths of madness, mate, when you've got a situation that we're talking about handing over billions to China.
Now, you're speaking on behalf of the retailers in your association?
Well, mate, yeah, we've got thousands of small businesses and retailers right across the country, and I just think, why on earth would we be talking about taking billions of dollars out of the Australian economy, wiping out, countless thousands of jobs as a result, and for what?
That's exactly the question. Well, to bolster India and China.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got a $50 billion deficit that we're staring down next year. Where do you think a lot of this money is going to be borrowed from? The people we're going to give it back to. So
the wise men, the mandarins in China, are sitting there rubbing their little beard.
Oh, they're geniuses. Why wouldn't you do it?
They say, righto, well, look, Australia's busted. They've got every extra cent the government's got, they borrow. So let's lend them the money, and then Australia, that's borrowed the money off us, will pay us interest. But the actual money that they borrowed off us will just make them give it to us because our economy's developing. So they'll give it back but continue to pay the interest and then have to pay it back again.
It makes an awful lot of sense if you're Chinese.
Oh, jeez. The wise men from the East, mate.
It's unbelievable. I mean, this is just economics 101 out the door. Let's forget all about it. Let's just, gut Australia. When I saw this, and I mean, Penny Wong's over there basically with our checkbook in her hand, it's a frightening proposition that it's got to this point.
Okay, so we're speaking with Scott Driscoll. You are the National Executive Director of the Australian Retailers Association. You speak on your association's behalf. You are not a fan of this new fund to go to developing countries.
Well, mate, we've just fought off the ETS. I mean, I'm pleased to say that we got quite involved on the lobbying side with the coalition in telling them why this was a bad thing.
Yes.
Fortunately, Tony Abbott and his guys have pulled us through to that point. This was going to be bad news as an ETS for Australian business and Australian jobs. So there we are. But now we've got this, new idea being floated about that we, along with the US and the UK, and Gordon Brown in the UK seems to be a big fan of this as well. Well, I mean, he's another government that's probably doomed.
Yeah.
Going off down this path of giving away the keys to the national accounts. I mean, why would you do it?
Mate, have a listen to this. One of my listeners has dropped me a note today. He said, Smithy, I run a business, I won't give the name, but it's involved in, it hires out camper vans, motorhomes, etc. We've had the worst November ever, a huge drop-off in business. December's not looking real flash. A lot of our inquiries in business come from the UK. You're probably aware that Britain's Prime Minister has announced a massive increase in tax on international flights out of the UK in response to reducing carbon dioxide emissions. Australian tourism's taking a pounding by this new UK climate tax. This poor bugger, it's hitting people in all sorts of ways.
Smithy, it is. And look, I think everyone has, well, most people, I mean, even me, I'm a sceptic, I'll admit it, but at the end of the day, we all sort of want to think that we're going to be, at least somewhat responsible here. But a brand new big tax of whatever variety is not going to solve the problem. I had it put to me at a dinner a couple of weeks ago by a bloke who's now the Shadow Finance Minister. He said, the way that people invented cars was not to tax walking.
That's it. Photocopiers, you didn't have to tax carbon paper.
Exactly.
All right, Scott, thanks for your time this hour.
Thanks, mate.
There's the Retailers Association on the record. Now, I tell you what, there's a lot of people looking at what's going on in Copenhagen closely. Ron Boswell, Senator for Queensland, is one of them, and he has uncovered this little push by Penny Wong to slap shipping and aviation with a new levy that can only hurt Australian industry. G'day, Senator.
G'day, how are you?
Not bad. What have you uncovered? What's she up to?
Well, there has been some